All right, so this is the first of many videos throughout the semester. So this will be the history of the environmental movement in the United States. And I'm going to share screen. And so what we will do is we will go through this PowerPoint very quickly. This is something I would do normally in lecture. And so I thought I would put this up for you guys to watch. And that way you can watch it over and over or not at all, I suppose. But to get that information to you. So then we're using class time, Zoom time, just to answer questions and do other activities and discussions. So starting, this will be very short, trying to keep these down to 5 to 10 minutes apiece. So environmental history of the US, there are 4 different eras defined. And so what I'm going to do is talk about the first 2 in this video. So here are the 4 major eras. We're going to do tribal era and frontier era in this one. Another one we'll do the conservationists. And then the current era, we're going to actually divide into several different small talks. And so that's what we're shooting for. So this is kind of in chapter 1 of the book, toward the end. But it is not done well. So we've added a bunch of stuff, or I've added a bunch of stuff. So anyway, so talk about dates. To me, I have trouble with dates. There's going to be dates on lots of things. I don't want you to agonize over dates unless I give you this is one that is important. So I don't want you memorizing these numbers unless I said, hey, this is one I want you to know. All right. So let's go through the tribal era. We're talking early. So if you go back, it's before the 1600s, but we're talking early United States, and then it wasn't United States. It was the Native Americans in North America, and they were basically hunter-gatherers. So they lived off the land. They lived very closely with the land. And then they started some, not all, but some actually started agricultural communities. So what I do want you to know that, they are definitely tied into the land better than we are today. I also want you to be aware of that they did have an impact. It's thought that they were just one with nature, but they did have an impact. There's definitely information where they had large stampedes of American bison, not buffalo. There are no buffalo in North America. That is an African and Asian species. Our cattle species out here that we call buffalo is actually an American bison. But anyway, so they would stampede them off a cliff for food. I mean, and we have evidence of that happening. Also, we do know they use fire. They would burn plant communities to open them up, to make more grasslands, to encourage large grazers like deer for hunting. And they actually use chemicals and threw it in the water to kill fish. So just want to make sure you understand, yes, they are part of nature and all that is good. But they did have impact. This is humans in the environment, and we all have impact. All right, the next one is the frontier era. And this one started in the 1600s into about 1890. And the new worldview for these guys was wilderness was to be conquered and managed for human use. This picture is devastating. You can see they clear cut a forest. And the idea was everything had a worth to humans and nothing else. And the European settlers showed up in the eastern United States. And if you've taken a history class, so remember Manifest Destiny, that it is our right to take over North America and go from the east to the west coast. And so the last slide on this, what I want to do is actually, I'm going to stop this share. Oh, it is actually running. It wasn't running earlier. So that's good. We'll look at it. But if you can see the dates on the bottom, and unfortunately, this thing is covering it up a little bit. But as we go, you can see how things change. Things are getting blue as the United States. Now France owns a piece and the United States takes over. And we're going to take this out to about 1890. And you can see this manifest destiny as we slowly push the Native Americans out and take over. And again, this is the conquering of North America, and with that attitude that everything has its use for humans. And you can see there is the states, and California, we made it, and you can see eventually Alaska will join, and we've left off Hawaii off the map. So a moment of silence for Hawaii, I suppose. But you can see that we're moving. So you can watch the rest of it and see kind of the takeover of North America. But I just want you to get kind of an idea of how that frontier attitude kind of went across the United States. And we'll touch on that a little bit later. And so that is basically all I have for this first video. So we'll move on to video 2.